Series conclusion, sex, code, and the soul of a species. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11-time published author, and this is the conclusion of Sex Tech, the rise of artificial intimacy. Over the course of this series, we've examined the machines replacing our lovers, the interfaces reprogramming desire, and the long arc of intimacy as it shifts from soul to signal. Today, we close this chapter not with hysteria, not with nostalgia, but with clarity. Because if there's one thing this journey has revealed, it's that we are witnessing more than a technological shift. We are living through a relational redesign that cuts to the core of what it means to be human. We began by asking a simple question: what is sex tech? But we quickly realized that's not the question at all. The real question is, what is intimacy, and who has the right to engineer it? As we've seen, the rise of AI girlfriends, sex robots, VR porn, and algorithmic companionship is not just a matter of gadgets and fetishes. It's a systemic restructuring of human connection. These tools are being marketed as pleasure enhancers, loneliness solutions, and empowerment options. But when you strip away the branding, you find a blueprint. One that shifts sex away from relationship and into transaction. One that removes friction, removes negotiation, and removes the need for emotional maturity. That shift has consequences. It destabilizes the family. It erodes courtship. It turns reproduction into a technical problem instead of a sacred union. And worst of all, it begins to train the soul that love is no longer something you build, but something you buy. Every layer of this series has shown how desire, once mysterious, once sacred, is now being hacked. Not through force, but through pleasure. And we must be honest about what pleasure can do. Pleasure can heal, but it can also enslave. When pleasure becomes the goal, and not the byproduct of love, we lose direction. We fall into loops. Dopamine loops, reward loops, simulation loops. Until we are no longer seeking connection, we are seeking stimulation. We are not growing, we are consuming. And that is not evolution. That is regression dressed in silicone and code. Let's get one thing clear. The problem isn't the technology. The problem is the design philosophy behind it. Because you can design for healing, or you can design for dependence. And most of what we've explored in this series, whether it's synthetic orgasms, AI companionship, or programmable arousal, is being built to replace effort with efficiency. To remove the tension that builds character. To remove the uncertainty that demands presence. To remove the mutual surrender that makes real love possible. And that's a spiritual problem. Because love, real love, is not programmable. It's not predictable. It can't be customized or downloaded or replicated. Love is a surrender between souls. It requires ego death. It requires emotional exposure. It is built through trust earned over time, not validation served on command. Love grows in the space where discomfort is met with commitment, where imperfection is met with grace. And none of that can be simulated. So where does this leave us? It leaves us at a fork in the road. A moment where we must decide, are we willing to sacrifice complexity for control? Are we ready to trade the unpredictable beauty of human connection for the clean convenience of synthetic intimacy? Or will we protect something ancient, something unruly, something inconvenient, but irreplaceable? Because once that trade is made, there's no going back. This isn't a warning. This is a record, a timestamp. Future historians may study this moment and wonder how a species so wired for love chose wires instead. How we digitized our deepest longing. How we outsourced affection to algorithms and called it liberation. But maybe they'll also find people like you. People who remembered. People who resisted the ease of simulation in favor of the challenge of connection. People who preserved what the world called outdated. Eye contact, trust, vulnerability, spiritual union. This is not a Luddite cry to destroy technology. This is a call to spiritual discernment. You must ask, who benefits when my pleasure is disconnected from my purpose? You must ask, why are non-reproductive relationships, sexless satisfaction, and programmable bonding being incentivized? You must ask, what happens to the human soul when it no longer needs another soul to feel whole? These questions are not rhetorical. They are urgent. Because AI doesn't need to feel. It doesn't need to bond. It doesn't need to raise a family or protect a lineage. But you do. So if your technology no longer reflects the needs of your soul, but the goals of a system that profits off your isolation, you are not using tech. Tech is using you. Throughout this series, we've seen the convergence of sex and code. What used to require intimacy now requires a subscription. What used to require presence now requires bandwidth. But the cost is not measured in money. It's measured in the erosion of the things that make us real. The ability to struggle together, to heal together, to touch, not for performance, but for presence. To choose love when it's not optimized. To choose connection when it's not convenient. To choose the real when the fake is easier. As we close this series, let this be your reminder. You are still human. And that means your desires are sacred. Not because they can be satisfied, but because they point to something beyond satisfaction. They point to union, to merging, to meaning. Don't give that away lightly. Protect your energy, protect your body, protect your soul. Because in a world where everything is for sale, What cannot be replicated becomes the most powerful resistance. Thank you for joining me for Sex Tech, the rise of artificial intimacy. Use this knowledge wisely, and never forget, you are not a product, you are a soul. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing, and no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future, Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems, The Behavioral Economy Now Governs Access. 4. Hive Mind, Synthetic Telepathy and Collective Algorithmic Control. 5. Nanobots Inside You, Medical, Military, and Programmable Intrusions. 6. Grief Tech, AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading Your Mind, Consciousness Transfer and Data-Based Identity. 8. Deep Fakes plus AI Clones, The Replication of Reality and Identity Theft. 9. Quantum Humans, The Merger of Biology with Quantum Systems. 10. Digital Afterlife, Where Your Data Goes When You Die. 11. Resurrection Science, Reviving Life Through Synthetic Methods. 12. Immortal Science, The End of Death as We Know It. 13. Longevity Science, Gene Editing, Anti-Aging, and Bio-Upgrades. 14. Designer Babies, Engineered Perfection Before Birth. 15. Artificial Wombs, Birth Decoupled from the Female Body. 16. 3D Printing, Printing Organs, Limbs, and even humans. 17. The Humanoid Era, The Rise of Synthetic Beings Among Us. 18. Legacy Humans, The Slow Phase-Out of Unmodified Analog People. 19. Smart Cities, Algorithmic Environments That Watch and Decide. 20. Cloud-Based Societies, Citizenship Without Borders or Bodies. 21. Hackable Humans, Emotion, Memory, and Behavior Under Code. 22. Biometric Scanning, Your Body is Your Password and Your Prison. 23. Sex Tech, Intimacy Reprogrammed by Machines. 24. Extinction of Gender, Fluidity, Deletion, and Design of Identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.